doing two different things.
What were you listening to? You gotta understand.
Okay. Everybody's broadcasting live here. My friend Dr. Asaph Womack is in here. So let's see if I could click myself on through. Okay, just bear with me. See if I can click him out. But anyway, there he is. Click. Okay. I'm having a rough time clicking him out. Let's try this again. Okay. So somewhere I'm in the system live. Um, Let me click the bell. Okay. So somewhere I'm in here. I don't know how about am I going strong, but I am probably in YouTube. It shows that I have one or two people popping through. So I'm going to kind of pop in and out. And if I get off of if I get off of Facebook, I'm in YouTube going live at the same time. Well, anyway, let me flip back over. What did you miss? Um, well, you didn't miss anything. I'm just talking about the fact that I'm going to be on live with my good friend Lloyd Strahorn this Wednesday, which is August the 25th of 2021 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live with Lloyd. So I'm going to be his first guest. We're going to talk about our insights about numerology. And we're going to keep it revolving around numerology. And I'm going to also talk about my books that I've written, which I have about 5 books on Amazon.com. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And I was just mentioning earlier of the different concepts or ways of looking at numbers, or how we could use numbers and then use numbers to look at things. As a numerologist, you can be one who's an observer using a system of numerology to help you pull information up, whether it's a personality trait of a person or how. And Lloyd's an astronumerologist, meaning he's an astrologer first who got into numerology. Me, I was never an astrologer. I was just a person that was attracted to numbers and how those numbers help me to kind of see what a person is like. And the interesting fact that I've taught a lot of people is that we're not going to have all the answers. So play with the numbers. You can develop your own systems with numbers. Like to me, growing up in this, I said that numerology is the shorthand of astrology. Each of the 9 numbers, 1 through 9, symbolically represent a ruling planet that rules a specific sun sign. And so it's like the shorthand. You kind of get an idea about that, and each number has a distinctive trait, plus or negative, or weak trait and strong trait, and how you can use that, play it all the way out through numbers. So that's what I was talking about. And I really didn't even mean to come on. I'm just long-winded sometimes. I didn't wasn't supposed to be on here for an hour. I just figured out how to also put myself up live on YouTube, but apparently I didn't click on my YouTube channel like I was supposed to. I just just did it now. So I'm live on YouTube at the same time. I don't think I've gone live on YouTube. I think the last time I went live on YouTube was long time ago, several years ago. So all this is in its own way brand new for me. Still learning, still trying to get things straight, still trying to understand. So hopefully I'll have all of this a little bit better under control so that I even know what I'm doing. All of this is still new. Kind of see myself like a dinosaur trying to operate in these different capacities. Oh, thank you. 9/11/1988. Woo, that's powerful, Black Feather. Well, first of all, you're born in the ninth month on the 11th day. Now, you have a master number. Sometimes people try to find the master numbers by adding all the digits up and try to find it that way. Well, let me add them up vertically just to see if you do have it in there another way. But we know you have it as a birthday calendar number. So I want to make sure I get this right. And this is going to be unique. Wow. Okay, now it doesn't show up in your destiny number, but you do have the 11th that you're born on. So when I look at that 11 tells me that you do carry a very strong, vibrant personality. The number 11, since that's a master number, you are someone that can unlock secrets. You are the kind of person that sometimes people will confide in you. They will come to you, Black Feather, and say, "Hey, don't tell anybody this. Could you keep this to yourself?" And then they start to whisper to you to give you some information and confidence, which mainly means they got a secret about something or someone, and they kind of want you to share in that secret with them. They don't want to be the only one holding on to it. Then it would be up to you to be able to not divulge, quote unquote, the secret. The nature of the 11 also tells me that you have a strong interest in deciphering dreams. And also, your gut instinct is very strong as well. So you might go by, even though you're born under the sign of Virgo, but the sign of Virgo is a mutable earth sign, which means you can adapt to people's personalities, you can adapt to environments that you find yourself in, whether you're working or living or just going out socializing. You have the ability to make adjustments as the day goes on or as an opportunity presents itself to you. You know how to like fit in. Even if you felt uncomfortable, you could still fit in. You find your zone, so to speak, and then you work from that zone. Or you already come, just say like you're at a gathering, social gathering, and you sit back and you survey the whole room. While you're doing that, you're sizing up people, personalities, the energy of a room, what's going on inside that room, like how other people are getting along or who's dominating a conversation or not dominating a conversation, who's a wallflower, who's laid back. That nature of the 11 in your astrological sign gives you that ability to do that. Your sign Virgo is an earth sign ruled by Mercury, which has been placed with the number 5. So you're able to communicate your ideas swiftly to other people. And you're very good at giving people the facts. You don't make up stuff. You do your research, and then based on your research and based on your observations and your ability to articulate your ideas well, you're able to interact well with other people. This has been, uh, quote unquote, a gift of yours, something that you do naturally. So now in the number 11, if I look at it, you got the 10 and the 1. So 1, 0, 10. You're like an original thinker. You got new ideas coming to you all the time, and you're very much an individual. So other people can't boss you around, can't tell you what to do. Now, if I was to take that master number 11, 1 plus 1, and reduce it to the single digit 2, that would tell me that you're pretty much like an ambassador. You are a negotiator. You are capable of going around and interacting with other people. You could see people have a debate, and you're like the referee. You could be right in the middle, and you could bring people together so that they understand each other and not be at each other. Now, you're born in 1988. Whenever I see the master number sitting at the end in the birth year like that, be it 11 or 0, double zeros going up all the way up to double 99s, that tells me that sometimes, this not may not necessarily be true, this is in general, people with double digits like this in the birth year side by side toward the end, half splitting at 19, you got 88. The 88 tells me you are possessing a lot of wisdom. 88 is 16, which is a 7. So you're very spiritually inclined. You like to get the message out as quick as you can, but you do take your time. But it's 1988. Okay? So that 1 and 9 is a 1, 88 is 16, which is now 16, 1 is 17, or basically 26. 10 and 16 is 26. So you are a person that carries a lot of emotional energy and a lot of creative energy. And you have a way of connecting with what other people are feeling, not with what just with what they're thinking, but what they're feeling at the same time. And you feel close to people when you engage in the emotional energy as well. You're very creative. You also have a connection to sometimes the family unit, or you'll get together with friends who feel like family to you. You know how people can go out there and say, okay, this is my friend. This man or woman is one of my best friends, but I'm more like a brother to them or a brother and sister kind of connection to them. So that's some of the qualities that we see in your date of birth. And being that your destiny or life path number shows us the year 2008. So what we're looking at here, when you hit 20, when you hit back then 20, right now you are what? 33, the age 33, like a master number, if I'm not mistaken. But when you hit 20, that was probably the beginning stage of you getting in touch with who you are as an individual. Because 2008 broke it down. That was 28, 28, 2 plus 8 is 10, and then 1. So you had to learn how to develop trust and faith in humanity, or trust and faith in other people. Trying to figure out who your friends are and who you can trust to be in your circle, as opposed to other people you may not want in your circle. Okay. Now that you're 33, when you hit that coming up next month, At age 33, you're going to display even more of that. So in other words, your that 11 is going to be really, really strong. And you should pay attention to the kind of dreams that you have. That's going to be very important for the months coming up when you hit your age 33. So that's just a quick analysis. We always strive to, it's not a matter of, we have to be correct with our analysis, but we also want to feel the numbers. To me, when someone asks me to do a report or a chart and it goes for a year from, let's say, their birth month and birthday and the current year, all the way up until the day before they turn their next age, I always try to feel comfortable with the numbers. I always feel like the numbers are people energetically talking to me. And then I get a deeper feeling for what I want to say about the numbers for that person. So that's very, very important. Now, if I was to take that single digit that I got out of 2008, which is a one, and tie it into your birthday number 11, I get the number 12, which 1 plus 2 is 3. So, in order for you, as I would think, to learn your life path or destiny number, learning to be an independent, self sufficient person, the 3 tells me to tell you to do it in a creative way. Use the mind to get what you want. Be more creative about how you go about bringing opportunities to yourself, or if you find yourself already in an opportunity that you may have created for yourself or someone put there for you to take advantage of, be creative with how you're going to make it work for yourself. You get bored very easily. So people who have a one destiny number, their purpose is to learn about themselves, how to become more independent of other people, but how to become a leader, how to bring the leadership abilities out. Now, that master number 11 says that you can do it. Also, for the first 29 or so years, 28, 29 years of your life on the planet, you were born in the ninth month in this particular calendar system. So the energy of the nine was learning how to be a warrior, spiritual warrior, how to stand up for yourself, how to fight for what you want. In other words, how to use your principles and how to use truth to get the things that you need in your life, whether it's new people, new job, new career, new location, how to make those things work for yourself. And just again, stand up for you. That's what you were learning to do. That was like the mini lesson of the first 28 years. But now your birthday took over around age 29, going up to age 56. So now the mini lesson is the 11. And that's again, don't let people set their garbage with you. Some people might say, well, I got some secrets and I want you to hold on to this secret with me. No, you might say, no, no, no. You hold on to that secret. I got enough to deal with. I'm not interested in controlling your life for you or knowing your personal business. So, the nature of 11, you just use your God given ability, which you can see into people, how you feel heart to heart, or you're connecting that way, and go forward in your life doing that. So that is a mini lesson in itself of being more independent, being more creative, following your dreams as well. That's also very important. You want to follow your dreams. You don't want to necessarily follow someone else's dreams, okay? Because that's going to be important for you. In other words, you're here to survive for you. And if you can survive for yourself, then you can turn around and help other people survive. So that's just a basic analysis. And that's the thing that I would be doing on Wednesday evening with Lloyd Strahorn on his Facebook Live page that's called Live with Lloyd, and he comes on every Monday and every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now he's usually on for about 30 minutes, but I've seen him take the show up to about 45 minutes to an hour. So since he wants me to be his first guest this Wednesday, um, I can imagine that we'll probably go an hour at least. So make sure you come on Facebook Live. Live, just type into the search box on Facebook, Live with Lloyd, and get that information out there. Stand online, take your seat, have a notepad, pencils, and we're going to talk numbers. And just like I did this little bit for you here, we're going to do that for the audience of people that will be tuned in. And I know there's something else he would like to do for you, and I would do it if I was, he asked me to do it. We would be looking at your personal year cycle. Now, he has a way in which he does it. He starts it from the month of January going all the way into October. So every October, you kind of get a start of how the following year would be, September into October. I kind of take it from when the person has the birthday. So in your case, you're born September the 11th. So I wouldn't look at September the 11th for this year yet. I would look at what the number was last year. So last year was 2020, which added as a 40, which reduces to the number 4. 9 and 11 is 20. 20 and 4 is 24, which is a 6. So you were in a 6 personal year. Oh, you're welcome. You were in a 6 personal year still right now. You're in a 6 personal year from last year's birthday, right? Your last age, the age that you're in right now. So being 32, right? 32, you're already 3 years into the mini cycle of destiny, which is governed by your birthday number. So you get to now the full extent of what the 11 is for you. Now, I always tell people, look at, do some research. Now, correspondence wise, 11 is symbolic of the 11th astrological house. That's the house of friends. So you might pay attention to how your friends are, how you're interacting with your friends, or you might acquire new friends. Then the number 11th could be symbolized as the 11th astrological sign, which is the sun sign of Aquarius. Or here's something else. Who is born in the 11th month? The 11th month in numerology, 11 is November in this particular calendar system that we work with. So November is the 11th month. So throughout your life, I would see how many people born under the sign of Scorpio and Sagittarius are born in the month of November that may be your friends or you may have had some difficulties with. You just kind of go back in your mind to see how many people that you might know that were your friends or not your friends, but more so like your friends, born in the month of November, the 11th month, under the sign of Cancer, under the sign of Scorpio, as well as Capricorn. See how that fits in. How that, that's Sagittarius. So Scorpions and Sagittarians born in the 11th month. How many of those people are friends to you that you might consider distant friends or close friends? So these are some of the things that we can do with numerology. We can kind of play around. Again, it's a matter of preference, how you choose to interpret the numbers. So everything is not like locked in stone. I mean, there's all kind of other systems. I know that some of my Jewish friends they talk about gematria, and how they work with that. There's people who are working with the Kabbalah, how you're working with that. The tree of life. You only got 10 spheres, not 11 spheres, 10 spheres that you're working with, but you got 22 paths. So there's a whole lot of ways to play with numbers that way. There's Chinese systems, Japanese systems, tons and tons of systems of numerology. You just find out which one works for yourself. Wow, your grandmother is born November the 7th. Now check this out. She's born in the 11th month on November the 7th. Okay. Now she's born November the 7th. Your 11, if we were to break that number down, 11, and write it as 11 slash 2, the 2 automatically attracts 7. So the 2 is like a lunar number that attracts 7, a Neptunian number. 2 and 7 are water element numbers. So your grandmother, born under the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Mars. The other sign that the Mars planet rules is Aries. She's born on the 7th day. So she's a fixed water sign person, sun sign person, born on a Neptunian number, which is 7. So, like I say, she's like a double water sign. Now, it'd be even stronger if she's born on the 9th, but she's born on the 7th. So that's pretty cool. Hey, and 11 and 7 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. And you're born in the 9th month. This is how we can just kind of take numbers and play with them. Because I believe once you have a basic understanding what each number means or can mean, then you can really play with the numbers, have some fun, and learn more things about the people around you and how you interact with them. So, this is something, again, that's very important. We're always checking out numbers, checking out vibrations, see where we fit in with other people and how we are moving in that direction with people in our lives. I mean, this is, all important stuff. And we want to be able to have fun with numbers. We don't want to feel like we're being overpowered by the number or we can't get anything done. We want to know that we're actually finding ourselves improving, right? And this is powerful time. People, motivational speakers say it all the time. When is the best time to do something? And they say now. Always doing it now. That's the best time. Not procrastinating. And I can tell you, I'm a number 7 person. So your grandmother's born November the 7th. I'm born March the 16th. 1 plus 6 is 7. But the number 16 as a major arcana key card in the tarot represents Mars. You're born in the 9th month. 9 energy. So you just play with numbers. Once you know what the numbers mean to you, and that's important. Just like in astrology, you got to make it your own eventually. Just like the tarot, you make it your own eventually. And eventually, once you know what these things mean to you and how you relate to them, then you become, if I'm saying this right, the griot, Griot. You become the storyteller for that person. But the whole idea with knowing numerology and astrology or palmistry or whatever, phrenology, the shape of a person's head, is the ability to guide the person. Let them know what their talents are, what their skill, how they can take the talents and develop them and have a skill set, right? How to get better, and then how to put them into a path. Like a perfect example, um, the tennis sisters, their father, what he learned how to be their manager. He learned the game by like doing research, and then When YouTube came out, he started studying YouTube, studying all these different things about tennis and the game, related that to his daughters. And look at them now, top of the world. They understood the environment. They didn't have to stay there. They moved from the concrete court to the dirt court to the grass court to the world stage. Just knowing their element, knowing their skills, knowing what they could do. And we know elders can help us get to where we have to go. Elders. If we listen to elders, elders live through it all, especially if they had their ups and downs, but they live through it all. They can tell us some things that you can't get in a book. There's no way you can learn it in a book. And people ask me, how did you get started with this? Who was your teacher? When I thought about it, just like in my first book, Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace, which again, I'll say all the books, you can get all my books on Amazon. This book right here got its rubber band, my copy of this. You can find this book on Amazon, Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace. And that figure there, it's a digital figure that I designed to put on that book. But anyway, my mother was my first spiritual and metaphysical teacher. My mother was into the Bible, yeah, but she didn't see herself as a Christian woman per se. She saw herself as someone who was studying the mysteries of life itself. She was a student of Rosicrucians. She was a student of Astara. Astara organization is still around today, like the Rosicrucian Association, which is called the Ancient Mystical Order of the Rose Cross, meaning the rose on the cross. The cross was life, the man or woman on life, and how their heart, the wisdom within them unfolded. Astara, like the stars. She was my first spiritual teacher. So while my friends were out there playing in the street and she let me have my childhood, she also was bringing her friends around and had her friends look at me. I didn't even understand what the friends were doing. And I didn't have to know because she knew I would talk too much anyway. I might leave the house. I'm like, yeah, my mom had some friends come over and told me this. So she knew not to divulge anything. Just let me be a child. But when I was in college, that's when this third center exploded and opened up. Then she started showing I was writing more things. And then when I would come home, every now and then she'd bring me in touch with some people that would come over. I didn't know what was really happening. Here I am in college, right? 18 through 22. But when I got out of college, and then of course when she started to tell me, hey, I don't think I'm going to be around on the planet much longer. So I need to introduce you to my circle of friends. That's why I have this here. Circle of. Now, Grace was my mother's name. My mother's birth name is Grace. So my circle of grace one means she's the first grace in my life. And she wanted to have, yes, she wanted to have her own circle, her own spiritual circle, but she became ill with diabetes, and she had a fall in my aunt's house where we stayed. One of her older sisters, she fought off a concussion, and then in the month of March of 1981, she fell into a coma. So she was already in a nursing home in 1979 or so. 1976, I drew a picture of her. She sat for the first time and let me draw her. I have the picture of her in this book toward the end. And people always say, well, these things aren't always real. But I knew that at some point she was going to come back. spiritually into my life. So this is the drawing I did of my mother. And I did this drawing on August the 9th, 1976, which she was, would have been 57 years of age, I believe, because she was born in 1918. So yeah, she would have been 58. She would have been 58 years of age. But that's the drawing I did. The drawing was done in pencil and a regular black ink writing pen, big pen. And she sat and let me draw it. It took 45 minutes. I was an art major. So I was able to draw this and come strongly with this information for her. And it was the opportunity to be able to carry out her teachings. And the thing about my mother, she said, you got to learn it for yourself. I remember her in 1979. She had a car. It was a Mercury Caliente, burgundy. And she would have me drive her around to all her friends. Every weekend or every other weekend, we would drive. And she would have me, because we lived in Long Island in Nassau County, she would have me first drive all the way out to Shirley, New York. That's on Long Island. She knew some people out there. I used to say, who do you know out here? I know your brother lives in Amityville, Uncle Wes, but who do you know way out in Shirley? And we would go out there. And she had some Italian lady friends out there. Little did I know that these were the people that were in the Rosicrucian Society and Astara groups that she was studying with. There used to be a AMORC group in Westbury, Long Island, New York, in an old Jewish synagogue that was turned into a Masonic hall. And the Masonic hall people rented out to the Rosicrucians. And I remember driving my mother to meetings. I never went in. She always invited me to come in. I could have sat in a lobby or something. I didn't know what all this stuff was about, really. But when I was 8 years old, I had what I thought was a dream, and the dream was really a vision of the college campus I would go to, experience more spiritual things, and then graduate. Now, you have the number 11. So she's allowing me, she's giving this information to relay to you because she was born August the 11th, 1981, and she transitioned through the coma while in the coma on May 13th, 1981. So she's born 1918, August the 11th, 1918, transpired on her, which would have been her 63rd birthday, but she was 62 on May 13th. May 13th is Stevie Wonder's birthday. May 13th of 1981 at around 11 o'clock at night. But she had me administer her last rites. She asked me to do all of that before she even knew that this was coming up. But she had me meet all these friends every Saturday. We would hang out with a group of her friends. We might hang out with them for 2 hours. Then we would drive a little closer home. So she knew people in Shirley, New York, Long Island. And then we would come on through the Southampton side, somebody she knew there. And then we'd come on home. After being at one house for 2 hours, 3 hours, somebody else for another 2 or 3 hours. But what I didn't understand was she was introducing me to her friends who were quietly observing me to see where I was with all of this spiritual, metaphysical stuff. We kept on every weekend to the point that we actually got all the way up into New Rochelle in a matter of 6 months. Got all the way up into New Rochelle, New York. Amazing. In New Rochelle, New York. We were up there. Now, during this time of her doing all this traveling and showing me all of her friends, I was also at that time when I met Lloyd Strahorn in 1978. So all this stuff was overlapping. And sometimes some of her friends, there was a guy, I never forget his name now, but he was part Cherokee like my mother was. My mother had some Cherokee and some Irish in her. And this man was like all Cherokee. However, he was extremely, extremely psychic. Now, my mother was about 18 years older than him because he was born in 1936. So at the time when I met this fellow, he was already in his 40s. Quick mind, sharp mind. Sometimes he would say stuff, it was almost painful when he said it. He worked with delinquent teenagers. That was his job, social work, using his psychic abilities to assist them. Can't remember his name, but I could see his face as clear as a bell. This man was extremely psychic, and his birthday, I'm born March 16th in 1952. He was born March 16th, 1936. So he was already what? 16 years older than me. My mother was 18 years older than him. So isn't that something? And this guy had some serious, he was another person. He could look at you and just read you all the time. And every time I heard him and my mom talking, I'd come downstairs and just sit around and listen to them. My mother had two older sisters, my Aunt Mamie and my Aunt Fanny. They also had their gifts. The people in the South would say, born with a veil over. I'll have to look that up. Hold on. Let me go to my phone, my note side, and I can look that up for you. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Let me give you my cash app. Wasn't even expecting this. This is how spirit works, right? It tells you to do things at a certain time. So here's my, wrong thing. Here's my cash app. Let me get the right thing. Right thing. Okay. Mm-mm. Okay. Should make it shorter. Uh, Okay, here's my cash app. There you go. That's my cash app. So yeah, it was always a powerful time, and she would put me out there with all of these people, her friends. But the most profound one is when she took me to Brooklyn. And I don't know if we were in Bed-Stuy section or Crown Heights or the Midwood section, but we were in Brooklyn one Saturday, and she went there specifically all day. We went and was a Haitian woman, and it was unique. Yes, the veil over your eyes. Yeah, see, my my aunt Mamie, she could read with a candle. My aunt Fanny read the palms. My mother scribed using water in a glass. or a bowl, but mainly water in a clear glass. And she would pray over it, and the bubbles would pop up, bam, and then she'd start reading. Sometimes she'd sing a hymn. So yeah, they had those three sisters had the veil over the eyes, and then she had two brothers, two one younger by 2 or 3 years and one older. My uncle Ansel, who used to live in South Plainfield and Paterson, New Jersey, he had it. And I could tell he had it because he had a certain sparkle in his eye. But he was more of a ladies' man. His name was Ansel. Everybody called him Ham. He had quick wit. He loved to dance. When he danced, you never hear him on the floor dancing. But he was a ladies' man. He was Sagittarius, December 1st, 1921. So he was 3 years younger than my mom. But he had the ability. And so my mother took me to this Haitian woman's house. And everybody was in this house. And she's laughing and talking with the lady's husband and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, she says, "Come on, we got to meet." And this woman in the kitchen, "Grace, Grace, oh, who's this?" And she said, "This is Francis, my youngest son, the one I'm telling you about." He said, "Oh, bring him back here." And I was like, "Whoa, what's going on? What are you doing, Mom?" She said, "Shh, come on." We go in the kitchen. So this woman, we're sitting down. Oh man, the food smelled. We were actually, I didn't know we was going to have dinner there, a little bit of dinner, but we were in the middle of like, which would have been close to lunch. We were sitting in there, and this lady asking me in front of me, she's talking to my mother. "What's happening, Grace? What's going on? How's this? How's that?" Next thing I know, they go. She says, my mother tells her something. She had been telling her things about me. I didn't know. Finally, lady with these thick hands, the Haitian lady said, "Read my poem. Read my poem." And I'm going like, "I don't know what you're talking about." That lady looked me in my eyes. She said, "You do know what I'm talking about. Read my poems." I said, "I don't, I don't know. I don't know your palm from the sole of your feet. I don't know what you're talking about." She kept at it. She kept at it. Finally, she calmed down and she says, "Mother Grace, can you leave us in the kitchen? Can you go and chit chat with my family?" And I'm going, "Oh, I'm in trouble now." And you know those houses, this is a beautiful house with the like a court, not the curtain, but sort of like the accordion doors, because between I guess the dining room and the kitchen was that wide doorway. So she had those things that can close and like a magnet stay closed. And I'm going, this lady's gonna kick my ass. My mother is in the dining room and the living room chit chatting away with family and friends who are all a part of the Rosicrucians and the starter groups, like my mother. And I'm sweating. The lady looks around and she goes, she gets this big can out, like a Maxwell coffee can, but it was empty. She reaches in, pulls out what looked like bones to me. She said, "Yeah, read this." I said, "I'm not touching no bones. No, I'm not." But she said, "Ah, but you know how to use the word read." I said, "So that doesn't mean I know that I know." So she scooped them up, put them in the can. Look. She grabbed something else, some rocks, stone. I didn't know. I was attracted to gemstones, but not like that then. She put them out there. "Read, pick them up. Tell me read." I said, "No, no, no. I'm not touching that." So she looked around again. She's looking and she's looking. She goes, "Ah." She had a necklace on. Took the necklace on. "No," I said, "that's got a lot of energy." She said, "See, you know something, but you're not saying that you know. It's time to confess." I go, "No, what you want me to do?" So then she goes, "Ha ha." I go, "What is she talking about?" She says, "Do you like coffee? Would you like to have a cup of coffee with me?" I said, "Yeah, I love coffee. Would you like to also have some tea with me?" "I love tea too." "Sit." Got the coffee grounds out. She got the tea brewing for the coffee. the hot water for the coffee and the tea. Finally, she comes out with these beautiful cups, and she says, "Do you like your coffee with milk, sugar, cream?" I go, "Well, sometimes I like it black, just as it is." Her eyes got like this, and I was going like, well, "What does that mean?" She says, "Take your time. We're going to sip, and I'm going to show you how to read coffee grounds." So I'm going like, "Coffee grounds? Coffee grounds." She said, "Take your time." So we sipping and we sipping. Now she didn't put a lot of coffee in there, just enough so the grounds are at the bottom. She had me sip till almost what would be like a tablespoon of coffee, black coffee left. And then she took a napkin, put it on the saucer. We turned the cup, drained the liquid out, and we could turn in the cup back and forth until all the liquid was out. Then she had me turn the cup over, make sure all the liquid drained out. Then she had me turn the cup up. She says, I said, "What are we going to do now?" She said, "No, no, no, no. We got some tea to drink." I said, "Oh, God. This lady set me up for something." So, anyway, we did the same with the tea. And she had me look. She said, "Now I want you to look. I don't want you to go like this. I don't want you to go like that. I don't want you to go like this. I just want you to hold the bottom of the cup and look. Tell me what you see." Saw numbers, letters, faces. I was describing people. She's writing it all down. Went to the coffee teacup, did the same. She says, "You're talking about my husband in the coffee cup." I said, "Your husband here?" He says, "Yeah, he's talking to your mama right now. He's the one with the rough voice. And this tea, you're talking about me." And I'm going like, what's going on? Anyway, that whole ordeal was about an hour in her kitchen. And I'm getting hungry because she's got some good food. And, I saw her, making stuff and all this stuff. So anyway, she called my mother back in and she says, "Grace, he has it." I say, "Have what?" She says, "You were born with many, many gifts." She goes on to say, "You were born with the gift to see, the gift of hearing things. You're born with a lot of gifts, but you can't chase after it now. It must come to you. Don't chase it, let it come to you." After that, we had a late lunch. When we pulled out of there heading back to Long Island, I was asking my mother all of this stuff like, who is that lady and what is she about? And she said, "Don't worry." She told me, "If you ever need anything, do not hesitate to call her." I said, "When did she say that?" She says, "While you were getting ready." "You didn't hear her say it?" I said, "Man, I'm so taken aback by what was going on today. I'm in a state of shock." She said, "Well, now you know. You can read coffee grounds and you can read teas." She says, "Tea leaf." She says, "You wouldn't touch her bones." I said, "No, I didn't do that." "You wouldn't touch her necklace. You didn't want to touch her stones." I said, "Well, those are her things." "And you wouldn't look at her cards." And she had what they call a Spanish deck. So when I saw that she had the cards, I knew that she was doing stuff. Late, we kept going, traveling every weekend. We went into Spanish Harlem, the west side of Harlem. We also did Queens and Brooklyn. No, my mother knew some people. I don't know where these people came from, but she knew these people. And eventually we got up into Mount Vernon and New Rochelle. I remember we were in the vicinity where Reverend Ike's church was. And she used to say, "We got to go to that church one day. but I understand that the line is wrapped outside around the corner, 175th Street and Broadway. We used to see the marquee, Reverend Ike, United Palace of Christ, Reverend Ike. I said, I hope we can go one day. We never had a chance to do it. And I remember we drove up there one time, and I think his service started like at 1 or 2 o'clock, and there was people from different sides off Broadway or from 175th waiting to go in. I said, we'll never get in there. My mother said, well, we can just watch the crowd. We can see the people go. But we never had a chance to really experience it. We used to listen to the radio shows during the week after the gospel. She used to listen to WWRL gospel radio stations, and I would be homesick with asthma. So we would do that and blah, 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 blah. It was amazing time. I wish I had more awareness to understand that she was actually leaving me her circles of friends that I could always go to and talk and develop myself. But, I studied on my own, and eventually I kept going. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. It came through over here. It was a wonderful time that I had this opportunity to be present, to be present, to have such an opportunity, to be able to share and learn. Now, being I live out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I've been out here 11 years. Trying to find people to teach is not easy. It's a whole new thing for me now to find the people that I'm supposed to teach. But I know that eventually, if I stay current, stay visible, people will find me. A lot of people know that I got these abilities. A lot of people know. And what I've found over the years is important to stick with one group as much as you can, not be all over the place. So I do know, I do understand, I do realize the importance of how we have what we have and how we're here to share it in the world. And there is so much that's going on in the world. If we become more like our ancient ancestors, we could have less nonsense going on in the world. I know the multiple universes are present, and that through these multiple universes, we are given these opportunities to experience different things, to see a different world. And this is highly important to be able to see a different world unfold in front of us is an amazing thing. Now, I believe I've been on here 2 hours, I guess. I didn't. Next time I do this, though, I'm going to set myself up live like I should have done on my YouTube channel coming through. Somebody on here is watching me in YouTube, and I've been on about 58 minutes, 59, almost an hour. I'm going to do this more often. I just don't know the times a day that I would, come on to do this. But I want to make sure a lot of people. Yeah, but we can figure something out. You're in New York City. I'm here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I do have a private Zoom channel. Um, Here's something for you. There's something I'm doing. It's coming up in September. I did one in already did one of these this month. What it is I've been teaching. I just started this month on August the 10th. So what it is the second Tuesday, but once a month. And I just started one. The one I did was called The Power of Meditation, where for free, now you can give a donation if you want, but for free, I teach for 60 to 90 minutes. So the next one coming up is September the 14th. I'm going to give you my email address. And if you would like to be included, if you would like to be included so you can experience this next session, then email me right here. Now, it's going to be on a Tuesday, which will be September the 14th. So, Tuesday, September the 14th. Hey, you know what? That's what, 3 days after your birthday. So, if you could be on, you should. On Tuesday, September, I think it's right. Actually, it's September the 15th. I had my dates messed up from before. Um, Let me just make sure I get this right. Yeah, it will be September the 14th. It will be not the 15th. September the 14th, 2021 on, or I should say at, I believe it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern, Eastern Daylight Time, but I'll just put EST. So I'll be on for about 60 minutes to no more than an hour and a half via my private Zoom channel. And so what will happen is if you want to participate on that day at night, because I do it out here at 7 p.m., I might bring it back a little earlier. I might make it like 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. my time, which would be 8:30 p.m. your time. I haven't figured that out yet. But if I do that, then I would be on for at least 90 minutes, right? 8:30 to 9:30, up no more than 10 o'clock. But it's a free enrichment training course. And the reason why I'm doing this is so people can get accustomed to how I teach and what I teach. This particular one on that date is a part of my creative pathwork meditation series. My intensive training course is called Creative 5 Point Creative Pathwork System, trademark system. But this is just the meditations, the guided meditations that will be a part of that, at least one of them. And so, what I'm going to be teaching, and I always teach this one to a lot of people, white light meditation. I just give you a taste of it. Also, going to do a pink light and then a gold light. I'm going to teach those three that night. And I have it kind of set up in a PowerPoint presentation at the same time so you'll be able to see the words. I might read some of the words right off the screen, but it's showing how they work and why you use them and what part of the body that they govern. I'm going to talk about all of that in this 75 minute to 90 minute, and there'll be room in there for questions and answers. But it's going to be absolutely free. It's a free enrichment training course class, basically. The 5 point creative pathwork system, which my book is connected to. This book right here is the foundation of the 5 point creative pathwork system. The 5 points in here are called five vessels. Decree is one of them. And I'm going to show people how to, in that intensive training port, which has a big fee on it. So a lot of people couldn't jump on it. I didn't really advertise it correctly, but people can take that one on one. So if you want more information, this is what you do. You can go to my website and you can see the links to my books on there. Let me give you this first. I'm getting ready to sign off. If you go here to my website, it will allow you to go here and you could read about my books, my 5 books. You can click on there inside the website and read about my 5 books. And there's a link for each one. And you can click on the link and it takes you to Amazon where you can purchase the book. Hopefully, the end of September, going into October, I'll have copies of all 5 of my books here in my residence. And then people could purchase the book for the same thing that they would pay on Amazon. I throw in there extra $2 or $3 for postage, and then what happens is that I could autograph the book for you. So I have Cash App, I have PayPal, I have Venmo, I have even Zelle. So people can come that way, or if people want to send me a check or money order on U.S. funds, we could do that as well. So I feel my voice wanting to shut down. I'm glad I met you, Black Feather. As your birthday comes up, I want to say happy birthday to you. Happy solar return. This was an awesome time. I'm glad I came on here. Renita Hamilton, thank you for being on here, and whoever else is on, whether you're on Facebook or on my live stream channel in YouTube. Thank you for coming on. There you are, Georgia Sparkles. Yes, I'll put everything here. Oh, you're from London. Okay. Well, let me give you my Georgia Sparkles. Let me give you my website. You can go through, this is for everybody. You can go through the entire website. Now, payment things aren't situated on there, but I will give you my email address, and we can, if you want to make a donation, it's not something that you have to do. That's a matter of you through your heart, what you're feeling. Okay. So www.circlegrace1.us forward. I put that forward slash so it doesn't bounce into something else. But you can go through the website and you can read about my create 5 point creative pathwork system, and it shows you what the price is in there and what the course will be, all the different links. Now, there's 3 other links that I have a connection to. I have 2 cousins. My late aunt Fanny is the mother of the one who has the website called I Get It. I don't think you'll see his face, but that's Joseph Russell Wheeler II. And Joseph Russell Wheeler II has a son, which is Joseph Russell Wheeler III, and he's known as the Onyx Con Foundation, which is the largest African American comic book convention in Atlanta, Georgia. Your name is Georgia. In the state of Georgia, United States, in Atlanta, Joseph Russell Wheeler III is the owner and now has a 501.3C organization for his OnyxCon Foundation or OnyxCon Inc. And you'll see some of his clips. There was he was a part of Netflix Black Lightning comic book series, right? The character Black Lightning. My cousin is in that one. He doesn't have a speaking part. He has some cameo shots up there with Bill Duke and a few other people. He also had a cameo shot in yes. He also had a cameo shot in the Black Panther movie. At the very end, you see he's a fair complexion brother. At the end, you get his left profile face, and he was there. Then I understand. It's so funny because not seeing. I had to see the movie twice in the movie theaters twice, and then on Netflix twice, several times. Realized that he's related to me. That's my cousin. Then he was in Kevin Hart and what's her name? Tiffany Haddish had a movie, comedy movie called Night School, and he was in that one as well. So he gets around with these cameo shots. But yeah, that's my cousin JR3W, JRW3. He's an artist, awesome artist. Now he didn't do, oh gosh, he didn't do that logo. That logo I drew myself a long time ago in 1985. But it's not this one. But he restructured. But when you go on my website, you'll see how he restructured my new link for me. My new, as we call it, my new logo. I don't think I have it in this book. No, he put together my new logo, which we took this fellow in the center that had a fez, and we put him in a full lotus with 10 rays coming out, five on one side and five on the other, and then a ray coming down the center, and he moved the one up here. So I'm going to get a completely different banner, but my cousin, the third, was awesome that he was able to put that together for me. Yes. And so everything is there now. You could go there and stay in touch. Georgia Sparkles or anybody that's watching from here, if you want to email me, here's my email address. So if you ever want to email me, you can email me there and we can connect and talk. So, I have people that I spiritually mentor. I have three people in the UK that I spiritually mentor, and one person who's an American citizen. In fact, one of the three people is a woman who was born in Boston, Massachusetts, who's married to a guy in the UK. And so she and her husband and another fellow in the UK I have that connection with as their spiritual father, so to speak. Then I have a spiritual daughter who lives in South Korea, Daejeon, South Korea, and I've been mentoring her for the past long time. I say about 12 years, 13 years now. So I got people of different ages all over the United States and abroad that I spiritually mentor. And what that basically means, my ancestors bring them to my attention in a dream as to be a candidate, and then we take it from there. And I work with them. In other words, I help them now as a spiritual mentor. What that means, I help them get clarification on their path in life, what they're supposed to be doing now, or if they already know what they're doing now, how they can further enhance it. And my expertise comes through not just spiritual consultations, spiritually reading them, knowing about numerology, helping them understand their dreams better, but also paying attention to what my ancestors, my late mother, who comes to me, that I refer to as Mother Grace, and her mother, which is my grandma Charlotte, how we come together and give them information. I have connections to Akhenaten and Nefertiti. So I channeled two books from them of my experiences. Here is The Wisdom of Akhenaten as I Am. You can get this on Amazon for $11.11 as a paperback, and also as a ebook for $7.77. You can get The Gift, which is The Wisdom of Nefertiti as I Am, but you can only get it as a paperback for $11.11. The other book that I showed you, Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace, you can get that as an ebook for $8.88. The paperback is 25. You can get this book right here called The Age of Remembrance, The Divine I Am Presence in Selenite. And this is all about the gemstone selenite. And this is a picture of my tabular that sits here in my living room. And these are the eyebrows. This is another eye up here. This is, you also see an eye in this here. And that's the face of a selenite guardian looking straight at you, other guardians. And it's in the tabular that I have here. So all of these books are on Amazon, and the selenite book, you can get it for $11. No ebook. Nefertiti said no more ebooks. He said people don't need to, they're on electronics all day. This is decree and it shall be, speak as I am, meaning the I am presence. And this is the foundation of my 5 point creative pathwork intensive training program that has a 3 digit fee to it. But I'm also working on my numerology book. I'm also working, I don't know what I'm going to charge for the numerology book yet. I'm also working on another book, which is White Light Meditation 7.0, but I'm not planning to bring that one out until next year sometime. I don't know yet. It may come out in the winter time. Decree and it shall be talks about the 5 vessels within my system to call a 5 point system. They are affirmations, prayer, affirmative prayer, how to give yourself a treatment through affirmation, prayer, affirmative prayer, meditation. And while you can use meditation as the seed of foundation to ride the energy, and then how to speak a decree for yourself or decrees. And this is the thinnest book I've ever written, 66 pages, 10 chapters. Goes for $12 as a paperback. Again, no ebook. So I'm going to, whoo, didn't know I had people back here. Well, it was great knowing you, Georgia Sparkles. And you'll be able to come back hopefully and see this in here. My channel is, now I don't know, when you go live in the studio here on YouTube, will it stay in my page? My page is youtube.com/user, user// circle of grace one. I usually write it out capital C, capital O, capital G with the number one at the end. So I don't know if you're going to get it here. And I didn't record it. Usually I record myself talking away. Next time I'll do that through my phone. I will record myself giving out these teachings because I want everybody to have them. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you, Georgia Sparks, and the other person. I don't know who that person was. Maybe it could be the same. That was Black Feather over there on my Facebook channel, along with Vernita Hamilton. I believe that was there. So I want to thank everybody. You are amazing too. Thank you so much. I'm going to sign off. It's time for me to have some dinner out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I need to get off and have some sustenance. But I want to thank all of you for being on here with me today. I'm glad I came on and I stayed on. Here it says I've been on 2 hours and 49 minutes. So I know it's only a long time. So I'm glad that I came on. I don't know if I'm going to go on Instagram later. I just did some recordings, 3-minute videos I did last night in 5 parts on using like guided meditation. So, anyway, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you so much for your time and listening and being here with me. I'm going to sign out of, yes, we'll be in touch, Georgia Sparkles. So, you have a good day. Let me sign off here in the YouTube channel as of right now. Okay, so I'm off